I see it. So you guys have never been up here?
Nope. That rock right there in front of me is about 10,000 pounds.
Look at that fireplace.
Living room up here, and then also a living room up above there.
Harry Potter, eat your heart out. So apparently this is Patrick Mahomes' neighborhood. So we're not going to Patrick Mahomes' house, but we are going to his neighbor's. Very nice. Love the American flags. So fun going out and visiting. Oh, they live right on the lake too. Visiting pond owners all over the world. Beautiful home. What a unique property, huh, Madam President? We got here, Mr. Stanza, Good Earth Water Gardens.
So this is a moat.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Holy cow.
It's like a spring-fed feature, and yeah, it kind of goes down, and you'll just kind of see. It's hard to explain different levels here, but it starts up here with this.
I love the koi going under the house. Oh my gosh, so cool. Hello.
Hello. Hey. Hi, I'm Frank.
Frank, the pond guy, Greg.
Greg.
What a cool place you have.
Thank you.
How long have you lived here?
It'll be 4 years.
Okay.
How long did it take you to build?
Well, we didn't build this. It was built in 1995. The developer built this house, and then it had 2 or 3 owners, and then we bought it and did a renovation, which included the pond.
Okay, so there was an existing water feature here.
There was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all spring fed, so we never add water, and it's designed to, when it overfills, it flows down to the lake.
Yeah, really cool. So you guys rebuilt this when? I've seen pictures on it social
At the end
media.
of 2020. I think we first came out when you first bought the house, and we kind of discussed things, and obviously you had a million decisions to make on what needed to be updated. So it took a little time to kind of clarify everything on what you wanted to do, what we wanted to see, but eventually we were able to come to a full plan with Andy, with the landscaping too.
Yeah.
It really transformed the whole outside of the yard too, with this feature, obviously, then a bunch of landscaping and different statues and yard art as well, and another fountain down below, which we just did earlier in the spring too.
Yeah, so the project continues.
Yeah.
It's been great to work with, but it's a challenging feature because of its natural elements.
How different does the water look now and the feature look now compared to when you inherited the house?
Oh, there was really just a trickle, especially in the summer.
And I'm standing on top of a waterfall because I can hear it, so it's definitely not a trickle anymore.
No, it was designed to be a waterfall. We have pictures of that, but over the years just fell into disrepair, and so they redesigned it, and now the water moves.
Excellent. Beautiful front door. What's the L for?
Well, so it was Harry Lloyd. This area is called Aqualand Way.
Wow, look at that fireplace. All right, so is this our hotel for the night?
Right. So this was his home, so that's his initial, and we kept it.
Yeah, why not? It's
Because
history
everybody
of the
calls
house.
it, Harry Lloyd's house, even though he doesn't pay the electric bill or anything. But that's fair. He built it, so we kept his initial on the door.
Wow, this is incredible. And what lake is this that you're on?
This is Loch Lloyd.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about a 110-acre lake, man-made. It's dammed on the north end, but there's a path all the way around it, a common path. So although we're right up against the lake, anyone can walk along the lake path and enjoy it.
Why are there stairs behind the fireplace?
Well, it leads up to a tower.
Are you serious?
And so there's a deck up there, a little room and a deck. And then there's another set of stairs that takes you up to we call it the bird's nest.
Like an observatory.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Can we go up there?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Actually,
I'm looking at this fireplace. I see these stairs, and of course it leads to a bird's nest. Look at this house. Wow. This is so cool. Harry Potter, eat your heart out. You got a gate so we can lock you up here, Rapunzel. Or me.
All right, well, I'm on the other side of the gate.
I just gave you a bad idea. Look at that. Holy cow, it keeps going.
So this is the deck, the observation deck.
Guess you don't have to keep this door locked. No one's getting up here. Holy cow, is that beautiful. 110-acre lake, huh? And then you can see just the edge of the pond. I can hear it all the way up here. So you guys have never been up here?
Nope.
No.
So that's where we were just standing. And the waterfall's right below that. You can still hear it from all the way up here. All right, I'm going up higher. Woo! All right, I have to show this. Look at this wallpaper. Can you tell what it is? I think that's pretty obvious. Koi wallpaper. Obviously, these are fish-loving people. Going down the steps, and look at that. You look right outside, and you can see the fish. Really cool.
And this is really our favorite spot because we can enjoy the water, you know, it's shaded.
Oh, listen to that sound. Wow. Waterfalls everywhere. Beautiful. Wow. Yes, I can see why this is their favorite spot.
So this is a spring-fed water feature, and our spring trickles in right over from that mossy area over in the distance. And right now, with it being a little drier around, there isn't a whole lot coming out of there. And so we actually have power off one of the waterfalls right now because it feeds back into the spring and starts draining out the whole system. But we'll go ahead and fire that baby up here in a second and show you what it looks like. One of the issues we really ran into on this project is the calcification that we get from the natural water that comes out of the spring here. Creates quite a bit of buildup on our waterfalls, our rocks, and then even our pumps and intake bays, and even the plumbing has taken quite a bit of a beating from some of this. So that was one of the things that we really had to keep in mind as we were designing this, is beefing everything up and making it to where we could go back in, clean things out, access things later, and continue to service this thing as it progresses throughout the year. So originally this waterfall was just two plain sheets coming off of each side of this column here in the middle, and they just kind of fell straight down into the pond. The pond was just a concrete bottom pond with just a bunch of stacked rock inside there, and we went ahead and just gutted that entire thing, rocked it in with some large rocks, and then constructed this natural looking waterfall. We were able to use some really big rocks on this thing here. In fact, that rock right there in front of me is about 10,000 pounds, so that is quite a big rock right there. And to construct this waterfall just with our whole setup here, to get all this reach and still be able to lift those large rocks with the pond in place, we had to have about a 25-ton excavator in here sitting right there doing all the work. So this was quite an undertaking. I'm sure Frank and Ann were quite nervous sitting up here in their living room and watching us with that massive machine right up against the side of their house here, but we were able to get everything done without any issues, so that was awesome. But basically we have really big drops here. We have 5 9PLs that power these two waterfalls, so you can imagine, you can really feel the volume and the sound and just everything with the waterfall and how impressive it is right here. So this is the main pond. When it does overflow, it actually heads on down to the lake. So that is where all the spring water ends up at, and then we work our way back up through this feature and back up the hillsides to the back side of this pond here. Now, the top part of this pond here, we did not do anything in terms of the renovation to it. It is still just a concrete bottom pond up here, but it is about 6 to 8 feet deep in some of these parts, and we figured it's not leaking, it's not causing any problems, let's just not mess with it for right now. So that is basically what we have going on up here. This thing being spring fed, it is very cold, so year round we are dealing with much cooler temperatures in the water than you typically would, which can create some problems with some of the treatments, especially early in the season. We have this little side chute waterfall that we've just kind of worked off the hillside and dropping down into the upper pond here, and then I'll go turn this waterfall on, but we have another waterfall over here that feeds off the top of the spring. We really wanted to focus on showcasing as many of the shots from both up in the windows. You have the living room up here and then also a living room up above there, so 2 awesome viewing spaces from inside the house that we wanted to make sure that we were taking advantage of, and then all of these awesome angles that we get down here, as well as up on the decks. You have covered space up there where you can really enjoy the sounds and the sights of the water feature just from a different angle, and also have a nice shaded area to hang out and relax. All right, here's the waterfall I was talking about. Basically, this waterfall feeds in over the top of our spring, so when this is off, you still see some water trickling down through here, but we were just trying to build over the original waterfall that was up here, so obviously we're not able to get a liner in behind this giant shelf of rock, so we're just able to kind of build over the top of it and create an area where we can cascade down over the top of this original waterfall and use the shelf rock on the hillside to spill into the pond, and then you can see those awesome views from inside the windows right there that we were just in. Fantastic place to sit here and enjoy the waterfall, look down on the fish, and really you can still even get a good feel of it from the sound and the volume of the rushing water even through the glass inside. The way this feature was originally designed, there was actually a pump house right over here, and it pulled water from the lake all the way back up and recirculated it, and that was just creating a complete maintenance nightmare. So we went ahead and nixed that system and made this a self-containing system to where where when it overflows, it actually just goes out this overflow right here and then on down to the lake. So we were able to put our pumps and everything housed within our intake bays here. We had to do 2 separate intake bays here because we were a little bit tight on the confines of our space here. As you can see, we couldn't really go any farther this way, and we could not work our way any farther this way. So we were kind of already pinned within a designated location, and just because of the original construction of this pond and the way the concrete bowl was shaped in here, it was going to be a bit of an issue trying to remove this center spot here in the middle. So we were working around what we had available, and we came up with this with the intake bays and the pumps all housed inside here. It's quite impressive, the sound and the feel of all the rushing water from down below.
That is very unique. So you put the aqua blocks under here, Dan?
Correct. So one of the themes of the master plan for this project is that the homeowners really love art.
Yes.
And so we tried to make pathways around the whole property that had little niches to show off their art. And then this is one that just happens to have a water element involved in it. But
Right.
You'll see other sculptures as we go around.
So aqua blocks down here. You got the LED lights pacing up, and then you got that sound of water. So Andy, is this all your work up here? Yes. Really nice. So how was it working with Dan Stanza?
It was awesome. Dan and the Good Earth team are great. We love them. They're our favorite, the only pond builders that we like to work with in Kansas City.
Well, outstanding work on the landscaping.
Thank you.
Keep it up. You're not anywhere close to being done, are you?
No, keeps on going.